There are several different types of income subject to withholding. Obviously, the focus here is on investment income. However, a few other types will be mentioned. The statutory rate, meaning defined by the tax code, is 30%. Many US tax treaties lowered this rate to 15%. If you live in an EU country, that is the standard treaty rate. Tax treaties lower the rate to a different point, for example, 10% for China. The US is not the only country withholding income sourced from within the country. For example, Canada, France, and the Netherlands also have withholding on payments sourced within their countries. IRS Publication 901 contains an outline of many of the US tax treaties and is available for free at irs.gov. What type of income is subject to withholding? Interest income, with exceptions, dividend income, payments in lieu of interest or dividends, rents, royalties, gambling winnings, some things do stay in Las Vegas, and trade or business income. This is not an all-inclusive list, but some of the more common types that investors and perhaps vacationers have. Proceeds from securities transactions of US securities are not subject to withholding, assuming that the seller has proper, valid US tax documentation in place. A current W-8 BEN must be on file with the custodian for no withholding to occur on proceeds. For US withholding, the withholding agent, usually a bank or a broker, pays the withheld tax to the IRS on a weekly basis. Once the tax is paid and reporting forms filed, the withholding agent has no claim against the IRS to make corrections or get refunds. Tax is withheld when the payment is made. For example, a dividend is declared and then is payable into your account 10 days later. The tax is withheld when the dividend is credited to your account. Not all interest is subject to withholding. Investment interest is not subject to withholding. It is, however, subject to reporting. You will receive a US tax form showing any interest credited to your account annually. However, if the interest is investment interest, then there will be no withholding. What is investment interest? Interest earned on US bonds, including US government bonds, is investment interest. Interest on free cash in a brokerage account is also investment interest. Interest paid by banks is usually investment interest, but not always. Dividends and payments in lieu are withheld at 30%. If you live in a treaty country, then a lower rate will apply. Payments in lieu are withheld as if they were the actual payment, so dividend payments are withheld on interest. Payments in lieu are not, if they substitute for investment interest. Withholding on rents is complex and can also be changed depending on the type of real estate and how structurally it is owned. It may be a corporation, a partnership, or owned by an individual. The withholding rate on royalties is generally 30%. However, certain types of royalties differ and tax treaties may lower the rate. Gambling winnings are withheld at 30%. This is one area where, for an alien, filing a US tax return may net a refund. It all depends on how much you win. Trade or business income, that is, income paid out from a US trade or business other than as a dividend, is withheld at 33% regardless of your treaty status. The rate of withholding changes if the US tax rate changes. 33% is the current 2019 rate. Any adjustments in withholding, because of reclassification from one income type or another, generally can be done until reporting for the year is finalized. The final reporting by the withholding agent is due to the IRS in March for the previous year. Once reporting is complete, the withholding agent is unable to receive a refund from the IRS.